Brings with it. 30 hertz straight up.
Hello, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Wednesday of Lupus Has No Face podcast with your host, Savannah, and our special guest, the lovely Trina Nicole, in the building today. We got a special guest, you guys. She is all of the things. But before we get into that, we will be discussing Zen and Strength, empowering lupus and fibromyalgia through yoga, right?
Yep.
So I know that you probably like, what did that mean? That was a whole mouthful. So for me today, listen, I go ahead.
I was like, I'm trying to share.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I had a busy day today.
Yes.
Today was an off day, but it didn't feel like an off day. I had an appointment. I had a pulmonary appointment, so that was dealing with my breathing.
Okay.
So they can make sure everything was going right. Then I had another appointment, a PT appointment for the pain that I've been having. Then I had to rush here, rush there, and then come here.
And then come here. Yes.
So all of the things.
Yeah, because that's life. Life be lifing.
Life do be life. It don't stop for nobody. I know. Lord had you. So what was your day like today?
So my day always starts getting up, getting kids to school. And then actually I had a facial.
Ooh.
Yeah, shout out to Ebony Aesthetics.
Ebony.
Yes, Ebony Aesthetics. Yeah, she be getting me together. So facial, and then I had clients, and then I came here. Yes, being an entrepreneur, full-time entrepreneur, mom.
So you full-time?
Mm-hmm, I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
What does that look like?
Well, you know, you gotta wear all the hats. So you got to be advertising, marketing, do the services, get your clients. Like you got to do everything. So I actually own the Fly Nail Studio. So I actually also own Fly Studio. So I actually have suites that I own and I rent out.
Okay,
and
boss,
then I'm
Fly
in one
Pick.
of them. Yes, a lot of people don't even know that I did that.
So what's the name of that studio again?
So it's Fly Studios, but then I'm Fly Nail Studio.
Okay,
because everything is fly.
I ain't mad at you. I love it. Where can they find you at?
Just at the Fly Nail Studio on Instagram and Facebook. Just look up the Fly Nail Studio.
Make sure you guys check her out. Make sure you guys check her out.
Only in gel services. I don't do nothing with acrylic no more.
Okay, so you high end. That Fly girl stuff.
Yeah.
You looking for regular acrylic?
I don't do it. I don't do regular acrylic no more.
They gonna have to step their game up. Fly girls only. No. So tell us, who is Trina Nicole? I love how that just comes together. Like, is that your name, or did you put that together?
That's my name. That's my first. Well, my name is Katrina.
Okay,
Katrina with the C. And then my middle name is Nicole. So I just Trina Nicole.
Your parents did they big one. That's sexy. They
I love being. And you know, what's so crazy is like, I've been Trina Nicole since Facebook first started. So I was on
college days.
Yes, when you had to have a college email to go on Facebook.
I was just talking about that.
Yes. So I've literally been Trina Nicole. Like, that's what everybody knows me as. My book, everything is under Trina Nicole. I'm like, that's just my name now.
That rings a bell. It's really
it do,
nice.
right? I'm like, I love being Trina. And it's like, it's a little bit like my alter, because I feel like when I show up as like, you know, my full name, like in corporate professional is, but Trina Nicole, like she flies. She, you know, it's kind of like a little
It fits you.
You know what I mean?
It fits you. I'm not mad. I'm definitely not mad. So you said you are a full-time entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Is that worse than being an entrepreneur and holding a 9 to 5?
Yes, because I did that for a while. Yep. So I was like working and trying to build my business doing that. But it is hard because you're responsible for everything. Like with these suites, I had them built out. It was a $20,000 project I did on my own. And
Fly girl stuff.
Listen, getting it. And like I said, a lot of people don't even know I did it because I'm a very real bosses moving silence type of person. You're really not gonna ever see me like just I'm doing this. You're gonna find out about it eventually. But built that out, and then like I said, I'm in there with my clients and doing my services. I've been full-time now 5 years, but I still also on bartender base. I also bartend.
Let's go.
I also bartend part-time. Yeah, because you got to get to it. You got to do what you got to do. But it's a lot, like trying to like do so much, but also you got to do what you got to do. I don't like having just one stream of income. So I'm like, okay,
Right.
well, I got renters, I got my clients, I get this little bartender money, like
Coming from everywhere. They say what? They say
Listen.
what? 15 streams of income.
Yeah, I think every millionaire got like 7. I believe.
Okay,
I saw
7.
seven was the magic number. Yeah, like 7.
I was pushing it.
It's a good segue into like balance, right? Because like feeling like trading too much time for money. So where I'm at now is okay. How do I eliminate me having to actually do these things to make money versus like just passive income and more book sales and online things? So that's kind of the space I'm in right now.
That's dope because I'm asking because a lot of people feel like they don't want to work for nobody. Yeah. Everybody is not made to be an entrepreneur, and it's okay if you not are an entrepreneur. Everybody's not made for that.
They're not, because it shows up in when you're not like genuine, authentic. I think it shows up in anything that you do, but especially with entrepreneurship, because it's like what's your reason behind doing it? Like, is it just to say I'm a boss, I got my own boss? Or are you really trying to build something?
We was literally, I know this is off topic, y'all. We're going to get to it. But listen, we was just having this conversation last night. And we was talking about, well, he was telling me how it's viewed, right? So like if a person was doing candles and they didn't want to grow it past their city and state. And my question is like, why? Why would you build a business to just be community based? Like the goal is to be global, right? I think. So we was talking about that, and a lot of people are not ready for that as to why when big projects come, they fail or they lose opportunities because they never thought past what they were already doing. And so I said they wasn't thinking big. They was just thinking like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur because they think it's cool.
I had a business coach. She let me. So we were having a meeting and she's like, so tell me, and this is like kind of when I was just starting. She's like, so tell me, like, what's a good yearly number for you? I was like, well, right now with the trends and looking at my sales reports, I mean, like 60K. And she's like, girl, what? She's like, you should have answered that $1 million. Like, you always got to think big. I was like, okay, girl, my bad. Like, I'm looking at the projected trends and looking at my reports and stuff. I'm like, oh, 60K would be. She's like, girl, what? 60K. So now, like, when I had that meeting with her, and I'm like, yeah, okay, sis, I hear you. Like, like that's not bad, but you should be thinking bigger, right?
On a bigger scale.
Yeah. So,
no, that's dope. So we're going to change the dynamics a little bit. I do see that you have a book over there. Oh my God. You wear all of the hats. So tell me about that. Okay. What is that?
So this is actually the Fly Journal, the Fearlessly Love Yourself Journal. So I kind of turned Fly into an acronym for Fearlessly Love Yourself. And it's a self-love journal that I wrote. It has affirmations. So the goal and kind of the setup of it is to say, to do, to write. So you're going to say your affirmation. You're going to do a self-care activity, and then it's a journal prompt for you to, like,
I freaking love that.
Yes. So, and then also slay the day. So it's what you're grateful for, because I'm a very big believer in like anything that you do, you have to show up with an attitude of gratitude.
You do.
Because that's what the universe is going to respond to. And then you could track like what you ate today. Did you drink some water? Did you exercise? If you have a daily reflection, how many hours of sleep? And then you could just like write your thoughts. And then it got like a daily like.
What do that one say?
You deserve love, success, and happiness in your life.
And you do.
And then like I'm just random, one of the affirmations. Is
that mine? Did you sign it to get to me?
This was for you.
Thank
And then like I will not settle for less than I deserve. It's like one of the affirmations. So yes, this is on Amazon, the Fearlessly Love Yourself. I actually came out with this in 2018. So
Thank you. I am
good.
going to be utilizing this, and you know what? I'm a document it.
Yes,
I'm a
please do.
document it. So all you fly girls, or if you don't think you fly but you still fly, go on Amazon and get you this. Get you this so you can get your life
And my
together.
book is on there too. So Fly Girl with Fibro, the book and the journal is all on Amazon. It's on Prime. You get it in 2 days.
Tone, please put that in the comments so they can go get her book. Put that link in there. Most definitely. So the reason why we're here today, Fly Girl
with Fibro.
Yeah. I wanted you to say it. I wanted you to say it. What is that?
So what Fly Girl Fibro? So Fibro stands for fibromyalgia. So a lot of people, it's so funny because when people see it, they be like, "Girl, I got fibroids too." I'm like, "It's not fibroids." Which I mean, it's an invisible illness. It's a chronic pain condition. So I got diagnosed in 2016. I was 30, 31. Yeah. 10, almost 10. Dang. I'm thinking about the time, like, dang, life is like in time lapse mode right now. But yeah, so almost 10 years ago. So it's a chronic pain condition. So here's the thing about fibro. It looks different for everybody. I personally feel like it's a little bit of a blanket diagnosis, just meaning like I think you get to the point that they kind of can't figure out what's wrong with you. So it's like, girl, we think you got fibro.
No, you did it.
Because they do this like pain trigger test, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they test these different like points on your body. And if you react, I think 12 or more, then they're like, okay, it's most likely fibromyalgia. But it's like they don't really. Some is like, oh, it's a nerve pain condition, but then some of it's like, oh, it's inflammatory. But I got tested for all inflammatory, like arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, and it's like that everything's coming back negative. So it's like, girl, what is wrong with you? So then my doctor eventually diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. So what my personal, like my definition of it, it's all the pain, trauma, secrets. It's everything emotional that we keep held in. It has to. You have to do something with it. So to me, it comes out, it physically manifests itself into pain. Like that's what I really believe.
How did you that's so beautiful to look at it that way. How did you come up to form that into the definition of fibromyalgia?
So in doing my research, it's like, especially this is like 10 years ago now, right? So like it was just so much mixed messaging and like definitions and like what this is. But some of it does say they think it stems and it can be triggered by trauma. It can be stress induced, which everything for me is stress induced. My migraines, like everything. And then the symptoms that are associated with fibro, migraines, headaches, depression, fatigue, like all of these things, right? So I'm just like really like, So then it's like, okay, y'all think it's inflammatory, right? So let me look into what I'm eating, what's causing inflammation. But then on this side, you're thinking it's nerve pain. Well, that makes sense because my nervous system is constantly deregulated. It's constantly out of whack. So it's something going on internally, but like, how do I get to what is causing this? And that's where I think the doctors be confused. Like, we don't know what causes it, but it's here. So once and why I believe my theory to be true, once I started addressing my mental health, going to therapy, all the trauma, start talking about it, write about it, which is I can get into like how my book even came about, talking about it, writing about it, starting yoga, because I'm like, okay, now I need to find something to help me manage the pain. I don't want to be on medication.
Are you on any medication?
No, I'm on no medication. Wow. I took myself off all of it. I weaned myself. I mean, I was like, I'm not doing this, because really like the side effects, I felt worse. And I got 3 kids to raise. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? So I had to like, okay, girl, what is it that you need? Like, what is, no shade, because I know a lot of people like know my kid's father, but baby, you had to go. I mean, I know it's probably gonna get back to him, but it's my story. It's my truth. Like, what's triggering the stress?
So you made that determination off of that? That was
part of it.
Okay.
That was part of it.
That's
because when you in something since you was 16 and it's toxic and you don't know no better, and then you messed around and had kids and it's all the thing. This ain't healthy. Oh, why is my nervous system constantly deregulated? Because of this man. Like, you gotta go. So that was part
That
of
was
it.
smart.
That was part, and it really ain't no shade because it's in my book, so
It's
he
your
knows.
story.
Yeah, he knows. Like he's read my book, so it's never like shade to him because we were both young, and we're 40 now, so it's like it is what it is. But that was part of it. But then addressing the trauma, the childhood traumas, it was like addressing all of that, and like, oh wait, hold on, I'm not in so much pain anymore. I'm starting to feel better. Oh, I changed my diet. Oh, I'm drinking more water. Oh, I'm doing yoga. And it's just constantly. So I like it almost like I kind of proved my theory to be true.
That is so dope.
But to go back to how the book came about.
Mm-hmm.
So basically Fly-Girl with Fibro is I chronicle my journey through like why I think I developed this condition. Like what caused this? What triggered it? So it was really 20. Oh, I can't even remember now. 2016, 2015, my dad was murdered.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So thank you. So like that trauma in itself. But then it had me going back to now thinking about stuff that I saw in my childhood, domestic violence, between my parents and just a lot. And I started writing. I just started writing it out. And after my dad was murdered, I was writing him a letter actually. Because I'm like, I'm mad, I'm pissed. Like I'm the oldest of 12 kids. You had all these kids. You ain't raised none of us. Like, and now you're, and because you chose to stay in the streets, now you're gone. You can't even, because my hope was like, well, maybe he'll be the grandfather that he couldn't be, right? Like he couldn't be a good father. Maybe he'll be a good grandfather. I don't know. We'll never know now. But then it was like so much stuff that I needed to tell you and wanted to say and questions that I had, and I'm never going to get a chance. So I started writing. And that's really how my book was born. People always ask me that. And it's chapter 5, Daddy Lessons. So my book actually started at chapter 5. Because I was writing all that out, and then it had me go back and think. I was like, wait a minute, and it just happened. So it wasn't even something I was intending to do, which is the crazy part. Like I just popped up with a book. Everybody's like, girl, what, you wrote a book? And I'm like, girl, yeah. I've been a writer my whole life though, so
oh my God.
I don't think anybody was like necessarily surprised that I wrote a book, but I think it just kind of came out of nowhere.
You didn't talk about it.
I don't talk about it because again, real boss movies. I don't gotta tell y'all what I'm doing, but just know when I pop out with,
I love your attitude. She like, listen. I love your attitude. What caused you to start looking into going to the doctor? Like what did it look like when you started getting sick?
Okay, so it was just really pain. Like I was just having pain. It was really bad in my hips and back. And what I was associating it to was pregnancy. I had 3 C-sections. I had 3 spinal taps. So I was like, well, maybe this is just like a result of like a symptom of, not a symptom, but you know what I'm saying? Like after
effects,
after effects of, having 3 C-sections, 3 spinal taps. But the pain, it's just like, it wouldn't go away. It's like, it was everywhere in my joints, my hips, my back, these migraines. I'm talking, when I tell you chronic migraines, like, girl, like where I got FMLA, I'm out multiple days because my head is just pounding. I'm having the aura, the nausea, everything that come with chronic migraine. Then my mood, the fatigue, just all these symptoms. But I'm like, I'm 29, 30 years old. Like, why am I feeling like this? And so the first doctor, and I write about this in my book because also where we need to be advocates for ourselves, right?
For sure, yes.
Because they will dismiss you and be like. So the first doctor I had, she kept saying, she's like, well, there's nothing wrong. So, and I'm like, but there is. So she's like, well, let's try physical therapy. So she put me in physical therapy a couple times actually. And I'm like, this is not working. Like nothing is something else going on. But I also feel like when you are a young Black woman, we already know how that go. Like the disparities in healthcare, they're not listening to us. And then they think that you're medication seeking. A lot of them think that. I'm like, and that's not even, I'm not even coming here asking for, I'm asking, can we figure out what's wrong so we can address the pain? So they sent me to physical therapy. And it was actually my physical therapist at the time who was like, it's something else going on. I'm like, thank you. Yes. Okay. Somebody's listening.
Say it, document it, write it down.
Write down that there's nothing wrong with me, girl. And she sent me to another doctor. She was like, I want you to see this doctor. Let's tell him what's going on. And I love my doctor. He's still my doctor. Like, he's so collaborative. And like, I literally can go in there and tell him what I want to do. He'd be like, okay. Like, because I love that he didn't try to like push medication. He didn't write me off. He was like, let's figure this out. Let's test for arthritis. And he did all the tests. And he's like, okay, so now we're here. have you ever heard of fibromyalgia? And I was like, no, but let me figure this. Like, let me look at it. I'm like, oh. And it was almost like a light bulb. Like, dang, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I have. Because it was all the symptoms. Like, then he did the trigger test. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I got fibromyalgia. What do that mean?
Where do we go from here?
And where do we go from here? And it was really me advocating for myself and like researching, like I said, figuring out. I'm like, okay, well, some stuff says nervous system, some stuff says inflammatory, some stuff. But then I also had Black woman therapist, and I told her my diagnosis, and she's like, yeah. And on the mental health side, the research that I'm seeing is this is more mental. I was like, proves my theory, right? So
I like it. I like it. But it works though, right? You're doing better. Are you in pain? Like, is it mild?
It's very mild now.
It's controllable. You can have a regular, normal life.
Yeah, I've heard stories of people that's like, I can't even get out of my bed.
Yeah,
and the one thing, so I've done so many like speaking engagements and vending events, and I always, because people come up like, oh my God, I have this. My auntie has this. My grandma's had this for years, and she be in so much pain. Like, you're doing so well with it. And the first thing I always say, have you experienced trauma? Is there trauma? That's where you need to start. That's my full belief. Like, that's where you need to start addressing that.
That's for a lot of things, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like trauma
stored
in our gut.
Women in our wombs. Mm-hmm. We carry so much in our womb space. Mm-hmm. Like, people don't even realize.
You don't know until you talk to somebody.
And then, what have we been taught? Not to talk. You don't tell people what's going on outside your house. You don't tell people what's going on.
You know, it's so funny that you say that, right? So, like, when I start having kids or whatever, that was a rule of mine. What goes on, and it wasn't that it was bad. I'm a private person overall. You know what I mean? So, because I'm private, I want my kids to be private. Yeah. But I did say to them, like, I don't want anything that's, being mentioned outside of my home. But if you feel unsafe and if you have to get it out, you have grandma. I always gave them an outlet if they didn't want to talk to me, because I know a lot of kids don't ever have an outlet and they let it out in different type of ways. Yeah. So I kind of twisted it a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
I don't know why, but that I'm just private. People just do all of the things. They don't got time for none of that. Got time for that. Oh my God. Okay, so what special yoga practices or techniques do you find most beneficial for living with lupus and fibromyalgia?
Yep. So I got into yoga. Shout out to Embody Yoga also.
Shout out. I'm ready to try it. Okay. The last time I had a real full class when I was back in college. Mm-hmm. But then I tried it again like 3 years ago. And I was yoga is hard. No,
it is hard.
I think it's worse than working out, but it's very peaceful when you let yourself go.
And it depends what type of yoga. So there's different types, right? So there's like vinyasa, hatha, which I enjoy, yin, gentle, restorative, so I would say a gentle yin or restorative is going to probably be the best for like a fibromyalgia, lupus, inflammation, chronic pain sufferers, because it's like a gentle, slow flow. Especially like even yin and restorative, you're going to be in these poses longer. Whereas like a vinyasa, you up and down, and I didn't know nothing about yoga when I started. In my head, I was just like, let me try something, because the thing about fibro is going to sound so backwards, but you actually have to stay moving.
You do.
Yeah. Because otherwise you're in like this tense and your muscles are tense. And so I had to I was like, well, what can I do? Like at the time, I'm kind of like a gym girly now, I ain't gonna lie. But at the time, I was like,
okay, talk about it.
I be in the gym now, girl. I'm surprised.
With your hair? You be in the gym with your hair?
Yeah, I just was saying I need like a protective style. Because I be sweating it out now. But I'm only like a month into the gym. But so like when this all started, I didn't know. That's why I said shout out to Embody, because I started going to with Joanna and Embody Yoga, and I'm like, oh wait, I kind of like this. But it was a little much, like, because I didn't know what I was like getting into. So now that I know, it's like, but like the vinyasa where it's faster, it's like up and down, it might not be the best way to start, but definitely like just gentle yin. I mean, because it's working on flexibility, it's working on keeping the muscles stretched. Also, when you think about just like breath work and how valuable, learning how to work with your breath is just like overall for your mental, emotional, like just like I said, flexibility. So yeah, so I would say anything like a gentle yin or restorative is gonna be great, and you don't even have to do it long. Yeah.
So like what, 30 minutes, an hour?
Yeah, 30 minutes. I mean, even if you could do like just to start. And you can just like pull it up on YouTube, like 10 minutes of chair. They have like chair yoga where you're like just sitting in the chair. You just got to keep moving, keep stretching. And then as time, you'll get, oh, wait a minute. Now I'm a little more flexible. Now, things are moving that I didn't like. Oh, so it's a gradual, it's a process like everything.
That's dope because you have just only fibromyalgia. Mine started with lupus and then fibromyalgia, then RA and all these other things. Yeah. So I know like working out is really good for me. And when I explain to people like, even though I'm in pain, I can be up and moving all day because that's good for me. But at the moment my body is at rest,
that's when you feel
and people don't understand that for the life. And they were like, they just look, and I'll just be like, that's how it is.
That's just how it works. It's crazy. It sounds so counter, like I'm in pain, so keep moving. But you got to increase the flexibility and the circulation, and like I said, keeping your movement, stretching. It's all good. So yeah, but I would say to start, you want to start slow and gentle, and then you'll eventually work your way up.
Okay. How does yoga help in managing the symptoms associated with these chronic conditions, both physically and mentally?
So definitely, like I was saying before, increased flexibility, keeping like even just the blood circulating, keeping you like stretched, but also the mindfulness, right? Like just sitting and still in meditation, because a lot of practice we start in meditation. So just thinking about, sitting in meditation, doing some breath work. There's things called box breathing, which so it's like you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, rest for 4. And it's just like being mindful, just focusing on your breath, like just calming your mind. Because how many, like our brains are like all day, right? So if you just sit there and just like, and now you're focused on the breath, now you got something to focus on. So it's like, I mean, that does wonders. I've been meditating for, pretty much since I started yoga. And meditating, I know people will get like it's hard to like turn your brain off, but even if you could just do it for 5 minutes, just see how you feel, and then you work it up.
It's hard for a lot of people to even meditate, because I know a lot of people that can't sit still, and people that can't sit still, they can't sit in their own thoughts, because people be like, why are you in the quiet? I like sitting in my own thoughts. Like I feel like once you face your own thoughts, it's easier to maneuver through life, right? Because you can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to yourself, but that's a dangerous game,
right?
But you got to pay attention to the noise, right? And so I don't think I properly know how to meditate, but I can sit in quiet for a long time.
And I think people get hung up on there's a way to meditate. It's literally just sitting in quiet and still. That's literally all it is.
Oh, well, I'm meditating a lot.
But also when you think like facing your own thoughts, that's your shadow work. So again, when we talking about what's triggering some of this, the pain, the trauma, the secrets, your shadow work needs to be done so you can start to heal. It all goes together. But I don't know, people got it like disassociated from each other, but it's all connected to me.
No, it is connected. And when I can't tell you when and why I started sitting in silence, but I know like when I'm quiet and when I'm still, he speaks to me the most. And so like things that like irritates me or just getting on, stressing me out, like it makes sense. I create a plan in my silence. And so I sit more in silence when the world is getting the best of me. But when I'm not so much in silence, I'm doing great. Yeah. If that makes sense. So
I get it.
people, you gotta take that break. So that
you have to.
Yeah, because it wears on you. Like it's everything that's in, it definitely needs to come out.
It has to. And if it doesn't, what happens? You be like me, 30 years old in chronic pain, because you ain't dealt with 30 years worth of things.
That's like holding something.
It's holding it in. So what's it gonna do? It needs somewhere to go.
Yes, whatever that being. Talking about it, running, yoga, the gym.
It's all really just like addressing your mental, emotional, spiritual health. I'm a very spiritual person.
Me too.
People know that about me. So even like learning about that, and like I said, attitude of gratitude, and even we talk about like there's such a separation like prayer and meditation, but how I look at it is like we can, when we pray, or I heard when I really love this, we pray, that's when we speaking to God, but when we meditate, that's when we get the answers.
No, I believe in that.
Yes. So it's like even sitting with that and like, okay, what is it that I need to be doing? And so it's just, it all go together.
It
I always
do.
stand on that.
I agree with you. I be telling people, sometimes people probably be looking at me like I'm crazy, and I just be like, you gotta allow yourself to do it. And like I said, I don't know when, but he set me down, and I've been doing it ever since. That's crazy. That's beautiful. What advice would you give to someone who is hesitant to try yoga due to their pain or fatigue? That's a struggle one right there.
Yeah. So what I was saying before, just start with a gentle practice. You don't have to go in. Yoga can be very intimidating. I get it because it's like so many asanas, which is all the poses. And you be looking like you all twisted around. So just start, you got to work your way up if that's what your desire, to work your way up to that. But just starting slow and gentle. Like I said, you can do chair yoga, yin, restorative. Restorative, I think, will be a really great start for anybody with pain because you're usually down on the mat with blankets and blocks and props. And you're not too much doing up and down because I know that can be hard when we're dealing with pain. Like, who wants to keep getting up, getting down, getting up? So you're kind of just down, or like if you're just sitting in a chair. So don't be intimidated by it. It is intimidating. It is when you, especially because if you don't know enough about it, right? Or if you're thinking to just sign up for a class and it kind of is like, okay, well, what's vinyasa? What's this? It's all different, So
it can be overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
So you being an instructor, right? So let's just say I came in and I'm stiff. My bones are just not what they're supposed to be, and I'm struggling. If you see me, would you come over to help, or do I have to ask for help?
Nope. So every class and teacher is different. I typically, I probably would just, like, if I had permission, because you have to give me permission to like be in your space, that I would ask, if you need the assist and just assist you. Like, okay, yeah, everybody's different, like how they run their classes. So, and I'm still a very novice teacher. Like, I just became certified in September, so I've been practicing.
I know, Jess, you did that big one.
I went to, listen, this is so funny. I disappeared to Costa Rica for 3 weeks.
What?
That's how I got my yoga. And nobody told me, just talking about it. He was like, I just looked up and you was in Costa Rica. I said, up for 3 weeks, minding my business.
Okay. Fly girl stuff. All right. Yeah.
I was going to accept like my fly nail clients because we had to work out. Because everybody, they nail schedule. Yeah. Like, girl, what am I supposed to do with my nails? So I had to get everybody in before I left. So that everybody was kind of on the same schedule. I was booked and busy. And then I left for 3 weeks.
That's where you got certified at?
In Costa Rica.
So you were able to work anywhere in the world. Wow. Why did you pick there?
Costa Rica. So I looked into this program that originally I wanted to go to Bali to do it. Like, that was what I really wanted to do. But I found a program, but I had never been, I travel solo. I don't have no problem traveling solo, but I had never been that far by myself. So I was like, I don't know if I should go all the way to Bali by myself quite yet. I don't know if I'm near. So the program in the school that I went through, they had offerings in Mexico, Peru, Costa Rica. And the crazy thing about it, because if you ask people that know me, they like, she manifested that. Because I had already been talking about, I want to go to Costa Rica. I can't tell you why. It was just like, and then probably within months, I'm like, I'm finna go to Costa Rica. But it wasn't like I was planning to go to Costa Rica to learn yoga. I was just like, on my spirit, I'm like, it's something calling me to Costa Rica. I don't know what. And people tell you, like, she manifested that trip, because then the next thing you know, I was going to Costa Rica for 3 weeks.
That is dope. So you had fun and you was getting educated at the same thing on time.
I ain't gonna I did have fun, but it was intense. It was like literally yoga boot camp. Like, we started at 5 a.m. When I tell you I'm not a morning girl, baby. When I tell you I'm not a morning girl, and we had to be up at 5 a.m. No, we started at 5 a.m.
So you had to be up at like at 4.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was like, I wake up at the last minute.
But I
was there. That's all that matters.
Yep. So what was that like? Give us a little insight on what that was like.
The day was like. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing. So I went to I was in Montezuma, Costa Rica, which is on like the Pacific side of the country. So it's like very beach town. We were by the ocean, at this like resort. So we wake up at 5, we go right into meditation, and we do a 90-minute practice. Then we break for breakfast. All the meals were provided, and I was vegetarian for 3 weeks, which was amazing. I came back and people was like, "Oh my God, you're glowing." And I'm like, I really tried hard to stick to it. I'm gonna get back to it. It's because it's hard to, like, when somebody making your meals for 3 weeks and then come back, it's hard to just jump into that lifestyle. Like you can't just, you gotta plan for that.
Did you mess your body up when you started eating meat? Like,
I
did you
did.
start throwing up and stuff?
I ain't throwing up, but my stomach was like, girl, what is you doing? Like, because down there it was vegetarian, only water, no sweets, no sugar,
No coffee?
no coffee. I don't drink coffee anyway, but could have tea. I'm a tea drinker, so we could have tea and water. That was it. No soda, no alcohol. It was vegetarian, and the food was I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna eat for 3, baby? When I tell you they was down there throwing down with them vegetables. And it was like Costa Rican meals, like things that, traditional. Yeah, like lots of like rice and beans and veggies. It was so good. So breakfast, and then we go back afternoon for I'm trying to remember because it was in September. Like kind of like book work and discussion. Then we break for lunch, and on lunch it was 2 hours, so I would take my daily nap. Just self-care. And then we go back into asana lab, that's where we're learning the poses. We learn how to assist. We learn how to properly, cue. So if I'm in the class, to be able to tell you, like, now, raise your right, like how they direct the class. So that was our asana lab. Then we go to dinner. Then we come back. So when I tell you it was 5 a.m. to like 7 p.m., I was in yoga boot camp. I am not gonna hold you.
Kind of like you're an entrepreneur, but it don't start that early.
Yeah, it don't start that early.
Nothing I do in life
late. If you know me, if you know Trina Nicole, I don't do nothing before 10 a.m. That's my life rule. I don't do nothing before 10.
To me, 10 a.m. the day is over. When I see, like today, I was like, when I seen 10:30, I said, dang, I wasted a lot of time.
Why is it a waste of time?
Because I'm normally up at 4:35.
You should be productive.
Yeah, I wake up at 4:35. So it's like when I don't have to go to work, it's stuff to do. But if I pause, it's just like, I've been working on getting myself out of that where I have to constantly be productive. I don't care. Like, I ain't gonna say I don't care, but I'm just in the space of like, life is too short. I don't have to be productive all the time. So when I say don't do nothing before 10, I get up and get my kids to school and stuff, but I'm not scheduling no clients before 10. If I want to go to the gym before my 11 o'clock client. So my schedule is 11 to 7, like my clients. Because I don't like that hustle bustle rush around in the morning. Like everybody got to be somewhere at a time. I don't like that. So I get my kids to school and then I just kind of like chill and then I go to work. What's your sign?
I'm doing that because I'm a cusper. I'm a Scorpitarius. I'm a Scorpio, but
Scorpitarius.
But I say it like that because some stuff when you look it up, it actually says I'm a Sagittarius. I had to pick a side, and my whole life I've been a Scorpio, so I'm a Scorpio.
Because you was reminding me of some Scorpios I know, like just. But I want to do what I want to do too. But I'm more of that with structure. Mm-hmm. I need structure and organization to do anything in my life.
Yeah, half of my life is like that. So because Virgo rising, that's how I show up in my business. It's very like
I love Virgos.
Yeah, I'm Virgo rising. So like my business, how I show up is like if you come, everything is very like everything matches. I was just talking to Tone about this because he was like, just do the relaunch. I said, but Tone, I'm very meticulous. Everything has to match and everything has to. But that's how I show up like in business. But like personal, I'm not like that at all. It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's like as long as I'm showing up in like the things that, because I'm very big on like if my name is attached to it, it has to be right.
Yeah,
so that's
for sure.
Virgo, that's the Virgo in me, like the Virgo rising. But the Scorpio was like, girl,
I don't give a about this. I can be 5 minutes late. I ain't losing nothing. Hello, Chanel. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, babe. What I was gonna say. I forgot what. My daughter. She's a Virgo, right? So she's in track. That girl, for her to be a little person like her age, she's 14. She act like she's so stressed out. Like I be like,
Beyonce is a Virgo. So like when they be like, you got as many hours in a day as Beyonce, like I'll just be thinking like how much she accomplishes. Like
she's like, I did good, but I gotta get this, and I said, show yourself some grace.
Yes, no,
little one. But so how do you incorporate mindfulness and meditation into your classes for added emotional support?
So that's usually how the practice starts, is in meditation.
Okay.
Yeah. So we start with breath work and meditation, go into the practice, and then in your final shavasana, which is your final rest, you're going back to your breath and mindfulness. So it's already all in there.
When you holding your first class? Because
soon. So I'm working on it because like just securing. I did secure a location, so I'm working on it. I'm hoping May. But again, Virgo rising, everything needs to be. I'm not gonna just jump out and do it, and like it has to be right.
That's fine.
So I've just been trying to make sure everything is aligned. It got to be in alignment for me. Like it has to feel right. So I did just find a space, and it kind of just fell in my lap, which I'm like, oh, okay, that's how that. When it's for you, it's gonna be for you. So I'm hoping May. So I've actually been teaching my son's basketball team since I came back. So that's how I've been getting my practice in on like really leading.
You play basketball?
My son.
You said teaching
my son's basketball team.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
no.
Like, dang, you do
everything.
No.
My son's, my son, he's a very good basketball player. So
shout out to him.
Shout out to my baby. He got a couple D1 offers already. So
okay, shout out D1.
Can I just
what's his name? Yeah, what's the good news? Isaiah.
West Dallas Central. Y'all getting to know me. But when my baby make it to the league, baby, I'm about to be, y'all ain't gonna see me no more.
You ain't wrong.
It's this meme of Cardi B. I don't know if y'all ever seen it. It's a meme of Cardi B. She's sitting courtside at the basketball game. She's sitting like this with her popcorn. If you ever see this meme, and you just know that's gonna be me. When my baby makes it to go sit on popcorn, I'm like, baby, do y'all know who my son is? I don't have to do none of this.
Period. You ain't wrong.
Y'all forward. Y'all be like, what happened to Trina? Baby, she is courtside.
Corsair all day. You ain't wrong. We done pour into these kids. We need to chill. We raise them so they can pour back into us.
My oldest son is 21, and he was basketball, football, baseball, karate, AAU. Now my middle baby, he's been in AAU and basketball everything since he was 8. He's now 16. This has been taking up a lot of my life.
Oh, I know.
So I'm just saying, when he make it.
Them parents is your friends. I remember my son was in AAU. Like we was going out of town and everything. It was a thing. It was a thing.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Jeez Louise, that's another job.
It is. Motherhood is the most like. What's the word I'm looking for?
Unpredictable, unorganized.
It's unpaid labor. It's unpaid labor.
We pour into our kids, so that's supposed to be our paid labor. These kids these days, something else.
I don't know.
Mess around and collect our life insurance. I'll just play. I'll just play. How do you address the challenges that might arise during yoga sessions for individuals with fluctuating symptoms?
So I haven't experienced that yet, but I would just imagine, especially so the good thing will be is that I can relate, right? Like that's going to be the good thing is, depending on how the class is looking, what I end up doing. And so because I can relate and empathize and be able to just assist, it's just going to be like as it happens thing. Cause it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
So it's hard to like address it, but I can just imagine like with me being able to be empathetic and like, oh, I know how you feel. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is like when I was looking for yoga, so I found classes, but none of them have like catered to, I wasn't gonna say they haven't catered to, but when this all started, I wasn't aware of like classes that would be beneficial for like somebody with fiber. So I just signed up for yoga because I'm not knowing. Like I'm like not getting. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, this is doing a lot, but I fell in love with it though. So like the fact that I'm still doing it this many years later and like have my own consistent practice that I just am able to do, and now being certified and
that's dope.
Eventually helping other people. That's what I'm excited about.
So what's your end goal with this?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
So I want to like live on the beach and teach yoga on the beach.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's all I want to do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No. But I mean, before that, I want to introduce more people to it, and especially like people dealing with like chronic pain and invisible illness, and like kind of, I don't say cater to that, but just making sure there's options available like for that population. Like that's I would really love. But what I've been doing so far with it, like I said, I've been teaching my son's basketball team, and what was so amazing to watch is these like 16, 17-year-old young men who like when we first started, they were like, why we gotta do this? Like what it. And the coach, because I told the coach, I'm like, if you think it would be something beneficial, he's like, yes, let's do that. And to watch them from the first, and we did it from September to, we just got done in March.
Oh.
And we did it once a week. And to watch them like go right into their poses, go into their meditation, go into their breath work, I'm like, oh, my babies, like, because they weren't even into it, and then they got into it, and I'm like, okay, what's next, y'all? And then they're like, we go into chair, let's go into mountain. How do y'all set up for mountain? You know what I mean? Like, to watch that. And now what I'm excited about is now that they've been introduced to it, like how they're going to carry that into their life. Like even in some games, because before every practice, I always give them like a little motivational, and I always like related it back to basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one time, I was like, when you get angry out there, return to your breath. Like, just remember. And one of them after the game was like, I remember what you said. Like, I was getting mad, so I had to return to my breath. I'm like, yes. And then another one got, like, he hurt his calf. And he came, they all call me Mom now. So he's like, Mom. He's like, I hurt my calf, and all I could think is like, man, we got to do yoga on Monday. I'm like, right. But I love that, right? Because it's like, wow, like these young black men who aren't typically, we're not thinking about young black men, doing yoga, right? So like, I love that. So I would love to do more of that too. Like,
do you see, like, so before you taught yoga to the team, did you see any behavioral issues that was negative that is not positive? Like, did they
I wouldn't really say like I saw anything. They're like a really good group of boys.
Okay.
But I had to get on them a little, about just like being respectful, and then by the, once we got into it, they got it together. But I have my little like sound bowl, and all I gotta do is hit it once, and they be like, I'm like, yes, thank you. Come on, be quiet. Let's get to,
That's dope, because that can help people mental, like how you go back to say grounding and meditating and all that.
Yep.
And I think a lot of kids, especially these days, need that.
They need that. So that's when you say, what do I want to do with this? So when I was in my yoga training, that was one of the things, like, what do you want to do with this? And I literally said, I would love to do programming for youth, because if we can think about it, like, I didn't know about none of this until I was 30, right? Like mindfulness, breath work,
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what if I had been introduced when I was 10 or 15 and just learn, like, sit, meditate, you know what I mean? Like, so if I could get to them, that's who, like, I want to get to the youth.
I think that would be dope, because who thinks about that, right?
No, right.
Who thinks about that?
Right. Especially young, especially because I have boys. So of course, like, young men definitely gonna have a place in my heart, because I feel like we often overlook the boys when we think about even not just boys, but men. When we think about self-care, self-love, healing work, we don't think about the men. We're thinking about, like, as women, that's what we engage in, right? I don't think we ever think about like catering to men in that space. I haven't seen it personally.
See, and I do.
Yeah.
And because my father, when I first had my son, like, he was the first son to any and everybody. Mm-hmm. So he was the most important first grandson, everything. And I gave him a voice. A lot of people didn't like that I gave him a voice, but I taught him it's okay to express yourself respectfully, right? That's not, it's almost unheard of from people that I know. Right. And then too, I tell them it's okay to feel. Yeah. It's okay to feel. Yeah. People that I know be like, oh, you're a boy, you're not supposed to. No, why not? Yeah. It's not gender roles.
But
right?
Then think about how many men now of our generation, especially, we also talking about a lot, on social media, didn't get that messaging, right? Like, about you can feel your feelings. So now we dealing with these 40-year-olds. That's a whole nother thing.
I'm gonna touch a little based off of that. No, it's men that I know that's in those age groups, and when I come along, because my belief is different, right? I will say things like that, like, it's okay, and I have uncomfortable conversations with them, and they just be like, nobody never talked to me like that, or no, you different. God, and I'm like, what? Like, why not? Like, why not? Like, you go get a massage, you go get your nails done, you go get your feet done, like that. All of that is self-care, like, and people here just be like oblivious. Yeah. It's very few that I know that does that. Yeah. But I just be like,
right. So circle back to my point of, like, getting to them now, right? Yeah. Like, taking care of yourself. Girl, I got my oldest son, because when I was in nail school, my boys was my, like, practice models, right? So now it's mama, can I get a manicure, pedicure?
That is
Like, girl, what? I've been
dope.
at work all day. You want to call me at 7:00 somebody. And then he was also a model for like facials. But I love it now, right? Because he like, mom, you know somebody give me a facial. Like,
That is dope.
so I love that. So yeah, so I would love to get some more young men.
So he has standards. He's going to be attracted to a certain type of woman.
Girl.
Well, hopefully,
no,
yeah.
yes. I'll be like, he gonna hate if he ever see these. Like my baby, he's such a like, he like, I ain't gonna say he a pretty boy, but like he take care of it. Like, listen, he fresh cut, smell good. I'll be like, okay, son.
That is so dope. Listen, I always have my guests read the comments.
Oh yeah, let's read the comments.
So we got something from Kenda. Hey, Kenda.
Hey, hi Chanel. I want to take a yoga class. Okay, Kenda. Yes. I will make sure I want to get started in May.
So when that's Lupus Awareness Month, right?
Is it? Okay, that's
we're gonna have to do something together.
We should.
Yeah.
We can do a whole little
segment. Has to have him come record everything.
That'd be dope. Yes. I hear a lot of people say that too, like they want to take a yoga class. But like I said, it can be intimidating. I think if you don't know nothing about it, it looks intimidating, like, but we'll work it out.
Well, we don't know.
I'm not gonna have it where it's gonna be like undoable. It'll be beginner friendly, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to that because when I get in there, you got me doing all this. I'm like, listen now.
We're gonna work our way up.
Like, listen. Okay. How do you balance yoga practice with the ups and downs that comes with living with a chronic illness?
So when I'm feeling away, that's when I also do my yoga. Right. So if I'm starting, actually, because today and sometimes, with the weather, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling so.
Me too.
Yeah. And people, it's funny because they like, that's like an old lady, like an old grandma thing. Like, oh, my joints is hurting. It must go rain today. That's what I was going right. I'm like, girl, my joints.
Like, I'm stiff. What is going on? My neck hurt. What's going on?
Right.
What's going on? What's going on? You funny. That is.
I'm funny and I'm fine. Like, where does it end? Okay,
Hey, we doing speed dating.
Listen, you know what? As you get to know me, Savannah, like my favorite, you gonna literally learn my motto of life. Baby, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I just like to have. Life is too short. That's like to have fun. I like to laugh. Me neither.
That's my thing. I'm like, I don't care.
I don't care. That's what I said. I like being an entrepreneur because I can make my schedule. Yes, I don't work until 11. I don't want to work no earlier.
Like this and don't book. You is funny. I can just see you right now. That is hilarious.
And but also I'm a night owl. Really, like my internal clock is backwards, so I'm supposed to be. So that's why bartending like works for me because like I'm supposed to be up at those hours.
Whatever works for you,
yeah.
Fly girl.
Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do
for you. Yes. What common misconceptions do you encounter about yoga and chronic illness, and how do you address them?
So I can't really say that I've encountered anything, but I can say some misconceptions that I have heard. I actually had people tell me that if I do yoga classes, they will not attend because of their religion. So some people are very because they feel like it's rooted in like either Buddhism or and like it's not religion based. So I just want people to get that out of their head. It's not religion based.
I never heard of that.
Oh yeah, I had a whole conversation with a couple of people that was like, "Oh, we can't do that because." And I'm like, "Wow." I mean, everybody got their thing, but so that's one misconception. I'm like, don't feel like you can't come because we're worshiping. We're not doing that. Like, so yeah, I had a whole conversation with a couple of people. I was like literally, I was like, "You gonna come to my class?" She was like, "Girl, we can't go to that." I'm like, "What?" Because of their religion.
People really need to understand in today's time, there is actually more than one meaning to the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because how the world is right now.
Right. Yeah.
You got to pick a side, but
yeah. So
whatever.
When I start my classes, it's nothing like religious based. We not honoring any because people feel like certain poses are to certain deity. It's a whole thing. I'm like, just look at it as you're coming to stretch your body, increase your flexibility, improve your circulation.
Get your mind together.
Like look at it like
stress free.
Yeah, it's a moment
to get ready to go conquer the world.
Pour into yourself. Look at it like that.
workout.
and it'll be
just
okay.
a different type of
It's just a
form.
different type of workout. That's all. So she said if I didn't call it yoga, it would be okay.
But then that'll be taken away from you.
I'm just telling you what they said. I was like, oh, okay.
People are crazy. People are crazy.
But I respect, I respect people's. Okay, but that's not what it is. But okay.
Okay. We are literally. I love having dope conversations because we always go over our conversations. But I'm definitely going to have you bring it back. But before we go, if you could share one key takeaway for warriors dealing with lupus and fibromyalgia, what would it be?
Kind of what I said before, advocating for yourself. It's okay to get other opinions. What one doctor says is not like the end all be all. I think we got to get out of that. Well, this is why doctor said, okay, well, there's other opinions, there's other doctors, there's other researching for yourself. Because I think if I hadn't had looked into like, okay, let me figure out what this is and found, like I said, it was so many different, it's a nervous pain, or nervous system thing, it's an inflammatory thing. Don't eat this, don't do it, like, and then I kind of put it all together and started working on healing myself, essentially. So I definitely like advocating for yourself, doing your research, not being scared of like holistic, natural. I'm not on any medication anymore.
Kudos to you.
I drink my teas. I take my black seed oil, my oil of oregano, my sea moss capsules. I got a whole thing. And I've been feeling better. So I'm like, something's working. Something's working, right?
Everything don't work for everybody.
Everything don't work for everybody.
You can just tell somebody what you're doing.
But I think you should definitely like be open to trying other things outside of just like medication.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of the medications is only like to treat the symptoms, but what is really getting to the core, the root, the cause of these things, right? A lot of this stuff is in our I'm sorry, I'm gonna just be the one to say it's in the food that we eat.
It is.
Listen. So like what's keeping us inflamed? What are we eating that's keeping mucus in our body, which then is holding disease in our body? Like looking at all that, I don't eat a ton of like white sugar, anything, and I got a sweet tooth. I ain't gonna hold you, but I don't even bother to buy stuff anymore because I'm just like, what's the point if I know it's gonna trigger like inflammation or it's gonna trigger pain? I was like literally a Pepsi addict like for a long time, and like I don't drink soda anymore. Every once in a while, I might sip a little like with dinner or something. So just like taking that time to research and figuring out, keeping track of like, okay, after I eat this or drink this, how do I feel? Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating or drinking that. So just being open-minded and advocating for yourself, really.
Absolutely. I definitely second that. Doctors is only as good as their book and what they study. And you do have to be an advocate because you can shine lights on things that the doctor's not even thinking about. And in today's world, the healthcare, we on time frames.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So time frames take away the care that we are supposed to be giving to our patients. So with that being said, before we go, this is a dope fly girl. Did I say it right? No, yeah. Fly. Oh,
Fly journal.
Fly journal.
Fearlessly love yourself.
Go get it on Amazon. It's very pretty for the pretty people that like pretty things like me. So go get this. She also has a book on Amazon. And what all things that you have coming up in the near future? So we can attend.
Nothing planned right now. So just stay tuned. So follow me at Fly Girl Fibro. I'll post. I'm kind of going through like a rebrand right now. I'm just coming back. Me and Tom was just talking about I'm just kind of coming back.
Okay.
And it's reasons behind that I'll eventually get to and tell.
Okay. Well, I want the exclusive on this.
I will.
Okay.
I'll come back.
Okay.
So yes, if you follow me at Fly Girl with Fibro, the yoga, everything will be once I start. I got a whole yes, I am gonna say I got a whole summer self-care plan for y'all. So stay tuned. So just be ready, be looking for that.
Y'all heard what Fly Girl said. Definitely be looking
bringing it back. Yeah.
You bringing it back?
Because I did it a few years ago. It was called Summer Self-Care. So I'm bringing summer self-care back. Yoga is coming. So yes, just follow me and we're gonna do all the things.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on this platform. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in on every Wednesday, the Lupus Has No Face podcast with your host, Savannah. Until next time.